Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to land your very first co-hosting client. If you haven't met me, my name is Bailey Kramer. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me here in a second. So let's just jump right in. Here's exactly what you're going to be learning today. Oops. There we go. So number one, we're going to talk about actionable steps to landing your first co-hosting client. I'm going to actually show you things. I'm not going to talk theory and ideas. I'm going to actually show you exactly how to do these things. All these things I'm going to show you are proven strategies, and this is going to be the foundation of starting your co-hosting business. Whether you already have properties now or you're looking to get going, as far as co-hosting goes, this is where the foundation starts. So who is this training for and why are you guys here? Again, if you're brand new to Airbnbs or you already have a couple properties, maybe you're newer to co-hosting or just want more ideas and you're already a co-host, these strategies are going to help you. Again, these can be transferable. These are really mainly for co-hosting, but could definitely apply for the arbitrage model. And so that's kind of what strategies are for. As far as why you guys are all here and why I even got into this business, well, one, earn income, earn more money, of course. Great additional stream. I think Ben might have mentioned it in the chat section, but it's a great stream of income to use to then buy, take that money that you earn from co-hosting and buy properties, invest in it, do other things. Some people might have W-2 jobs and they're like, Bailey, I can't do this any longer. I need another stream of income. This can absolutely be it. And then overall, I think what separates a lot of real estate investors, just how we think, is we're all chasing this thing, financial freedom, right? How can we not sit at a desk for 45 years and be miserable? How can we get an income stream or income streams, really, that can replace our income, that we can do what we want, where we want, when we want to do it. Lastly, do things that actually make us happy in life, because YOLO, you only live once. Yes, Tyler, you agree. We want to do things that make us happy. So for me, co-hosting is the route that has made me able to achieve everything that I've been able to achieve so far. The lifestyle, like the money, everything about what I do, I give credit to the co-hosting side because it's helped me scale in a lot of ways. So I'm going to be giving away a special announcement at the end, so stay tuned for that. Just wanted to plug it in for you guys now so you know to stay, and we're going to be announcing something really cool at the end. And then also, you guys might have seen on Instagram. If you didn't see this on Instagram, that means you're not following me, because we did a free giveaway, a 1-hour coaching call with me for somebody, one of the first 25 people that signed up. We did a random drawing, and the winner is Francis P. Garcia. So Francis, you can redeem your prize. I'll send you an email afterwards, but just wanted to shout that out in the beginning, that if you're not following me on Instagram already, this is where I advertised it and you would have seen it. So congrats to you, Francis. All right, so before we jump into the actual training, I know there's some unfamiliar faces, people who might not know me. So let me give a quick background about me, then we'll jump into it. So I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since I was a kid. Shout out to the show Shark Tank. I still watch this on a weekly basis still today. So that got me the entrepreneurial gear going in my mind. And then of course the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Put in the chat if you've either seen Rich Dad Poor Dad or seen Shark Tank or watched Shark Tank or read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I can almost guarantee that everybody here has at least heard of one of the two. Both. Okay, it's definitely not the only one here. Okay, cool. So these two books and show made a huge impact on my life. Shark Tank for the entrepreneurial drive, and then Rich Dad Poor Dad for the actual real estate side. So when I was a sophomore in college, that's when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I spent a whole year and then some just strictly learning and networking in the real estate space. And then finally landed my very first deal. That's me. I have my college shirt on there in front of the house. So how was I able to buy a house in college? Well, part of it was I used direct to seller marketing strategies and got super creative. Nothing that I do is standard, because what 99.9% of people do is just standard and average. For example, strictly just looking at deals on the MLS, I haven't found much success just from that. So I find other creative ways to find deals and to get funding for them. And then I am not especially when I got started, I didn't have, even today, I don't have all the money in the world, right? I haven't been in real estate for 50 years to see every single market cycle. But what I have leveraged is networking. And that's like the biggest piece. We're going to be talking about that a lot throughout here tonight. But networking is where I filled all the gaps. So I had the hustle and the drive. I just didn't have every other piece in the experience at the time. And I used networking to partner with different people to get those resources that I didn't have. So after that first deal, I bought 5 more properties, again, while still in college. I did fix and flips, I did long-term rentals, and then finally I fell into my first property, my first short-term rental property that really sparked it for me. So it's this big property up here. It honestly just blew our expectations out of the water. Talking about that property could be a whole nother presentation. But here's a couple of the properties that I own or co-host, and there's a dozen plus more. So right now I have 7 Airbnb properties that are set up, that are running right now. I have 10 more properties that are in the process of being set up. So 8 of those is actually a cool boutique hotel that's launching Wednesday. One of them is a really cool lake house with a pool. It has, it's right on the water. If you haven't seen me post about it on Instagram, again, you must not be following me. And then another one is going to be a traveling nurse property in Indiana, where I have another property. So now that I have all this set up, I have the tools, the systems, and the processes, and I do all this remotely. So these properties are in 4 different states. And this is honestly like the most mind-blowing thing to me. These 17 properties up and running are going to bring in a total of $1.35 million this year in revenue. That's just 1 year in these 17 properties. My take home from that, because cool, $1.3 million, that sounds great. But what am I actually going to make from it? My take home will be $148,500, which is $12,375 per month. And that, again, that's just the 17 properties. I plan on adding at least double that this year on co-hosting. I'm very confident I can get there with the really exciting things I'm up to now. But just know that I started this, my first Airbnb that I set up was July 1st, or that's when the first launch was, July 1st. And in just 10 months, I've grown to 17 properties. And I've obviously learned a lot of lessons along the way that if I knew those things, I would have probably been a lot farther now. But still, I mean, where I'm at now with 17 properties, bringing in $1.3 million, $12,000 per month. And I'm not going to say it's passive right now, especially I'm in the process of building my team, but it doesn't take a ton of work to actually manage these properties. A lot of it's automated, which we've talked a lot about in other trainings. So that's that stuff. Let's actually jump into tonight, and we're talking about co-hosting. This is, again, what I do day in, day out, what I'm continuing to build. So what is co-hosting? So co-hosting, in the simplest terms, is property management for short-term rentals. You might have heard of like rental arbitrage. It's a model that I really don't like. Co-hosting is like that alternative that actually is a lot better. So for those of you who haven't heard of co-hosting before, awesome strategy. And essentially where you're handling the day-to-day and having the owner sit back and relax. So they don't do anything. You handle all the day-to-day. And of course, you get paid for it. You get paid a percentage of the gross revenue. And that could be anywhere from 15 to 25% of the gross income. So if a property is making $5,000 a month, you're getting $1,000 a month. Property making $10,000 a month, you're making $2,000 a month. And again, the reason why I like this is because number one, it takes literally no money except an LLC to get started. An LLC costs about $200. So basically no money to get started. It's super scalable. Like I just showed you, I'm at 17 properties now, and I'm going to definitely continue to grow and scale. And again, it's just super scalable because each property doesn't take that much time to manage. It's just a game of how many properties can you really bring on. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot of time through automations. And the best part is it can be done through anywhere. So like I said, I have 4 different states that I manage properties in. Where I lived for the past 4 years was in Florida, where none of these properties are. I am now in Wisconsin now, going to Illinois tomorrow, moving to North Carolina in a couple of weeks. So it it has no relevance because this can be done literally from anywhere. So how to land your first co-hosting client. And again, guys, if you're not taking notes already, make sure you do so, pen and paper, on your computer, on your phone, doesn't matter, but you're going to want to make sure you take notes. We have some really good things coming up. And again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat and Claire can answer them as we go. And we'll have a Q&A afterwards as well. So the first question I get is, Bailey, why does someone need a co-host? Why would someone pay someone 15 to 25% of the gross income to a co-host? You know, why would someone do that? And the reason is, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, there's some people who just strictly want to be passive, meaning they don't have to do anything. Some people are like, listen, if I can make 75% of the money or 70, 80% of the money and not have to do anything, that's good enough for me. I've plenty of owners that I work with that just have no interest in managing it. They don't care about the day-to-day. They don't have that. They're not customer oriented. At the end of the day, this is hospitality. You have to actually care about the guests and create a good experience. Some people just don't care about that. Some people also just don't know how to manage it and don't really want to learn how to manage it. So again, there's opportunity in there for people like us to do this. And again, the list goes on and on. So who's heard the expression that they need to know, like, and trust you? This is really within every industry, but it's like your customer needs to know, like, and trust you. Throw it in the chat if you've heard that expression before. Know, like, and trust. Yes. Okay, so this pretty much applies to every industry, like ever. Anybody that you're working with, any clients that you have, they need to know, like, and trust you. The biggest thing that I preach is that no one can like or trust you, if they don't know you. So like the know, like, and trust, the first piece is the know. And that's the piece that I focus on, because for someone to like and trust you, that is something I can't really teach. Like, for someone to like and trust you, you have to be a likable person, a trustworthy person. You have to be genuine. You have to smile. You know, those are just basic things. But the biggest thing that I could teach is get them to know you. And then once they know you, if I can already tell you're spending your Monday night, or maybe you're watching the replay, and you're spending time to better yourself. So you already have abilities that will make people like and trust you just by your drive. So that part, like, how do you teach someone that? I'm going to teach you how they can know you, because that is the most important thing and something that I can teach the best. So here's the foundation. The first step is to get in front of someone who needs your co-hosting service. So we already talked about all the pain points of why someone would even need a co-host in the first place. You need to get in front of those people who have those pain points. And that's really the first step to getting into the co-hosting business. Now, how do people know you? Because that's the first step. How do people know you? There's two options. Either you find them or they find you. Okay. I'm breaking it down simply, and we're going to go in depth here in a second. But this isn't like a rocket science type deal for this slider here. It's like, either you need to find someone who needs your service, or they need to find you. That could apply to co-hosting. It could apply to really any service or business. So here are the strategies that I use and I recommend you use to find people who need co-hosting. Okay. So I'm going to go through these in depth, but you have friends and family, groups, long-term rental landlords, social media, local meetup groups, and referrals. So let's dive deep into each of these. Number one, friends, family, your coworkers. I call this like your inner circle. So what I've realized is that everything starts with a discussion. I actually well, I'll talk about this in a second, but essentially you need the people around you, the people that already know you, to know what you're doing and what you're trying to do. If people don't know what you're trying to do, then, you know, you can't just keep it to yourself. If you ever, if you try to start a business by yourself and not tell anybody about it, there's no one to buy your product. There's no one to do anything. So you need to have the people around you at least to know about what you're actually doing, because obviously that's super important. And I'm not saying that everyone's family has like, for me and my family, no one does Airbnbs, like legit, not one person in my family does Airbnbs or really real estate for that matter yet. But by just talking to my cousins were like, oh, that sounds interesting. I was thinking about investing in Airbnbs and real estate. And, I'm interested in this Airbnb thing. So we had a discussion. Everything starts with a discussion. I was like literally an hour ago. I got back 30 minutes to an hour ago. I met with somebody who has 2 Airbnbs and he's looking for someone to manage it. Now, I didn't know this guy, but through a mutual connection, he linked us together. So the fact that I told my friend, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do. And then when he heard that someone needs a co-host or mentioned Airbnbs, the first person he thought of was me. And we just had a conversation and, that is what it is. But again, your inner circle, do not sleep on your inner circle. Even if you're like, nah, no one does real estate. No one has money. No one this. I don't care. Your inner circle needs to go because when they hear of an opportunity, they're going to think of you first. So number 2, now we're going to get super tactical here with groups. So let me show you the first example. So Facebook groups. Okay. I was actually scrolling through. There's so many Facebook groups. We have our own Facebook group. And it's definitely a great resource. There's also Facebook groups that have tens of thousands of people already and people that are actively looking for co-hosts. So there's a group, Airbnb Superhost. This is just one of many, but simply all you have to do is type in the word co-host. Okay. And you can do this on a bunch of different Airbnbs and you have people literally saying, I need a co-host. I need a co-host. I need co-host property managers in Dallas, Texas. I have a unit in Uptown that I want to list by May 15th. Okay. You can keep going down and down. Need an amazing cleaner or co-host. Boom. Again, I can go on and on Facebook groups, but all you do again is go to Facebook. All right. Go to this search bar and type in Airbnb. If you're not already part of some groups, definitely join our Facebook group. And if you want more suggestions, let me know. I'm happy to send you to them. Pick a Facebook group that you see Airbnb related. Type in either co-host, property manager, property management, and you will see people that are asking for co-hosts. So this is just, again, one strategy to use. But if you're brand new, this is one strategy that you can actively do on a daily basis that, people are saying, I need a co-host. They're raising your hand. You just need to be one of those people that says, hey, I can help you. Okay. And then they already know you. Then it's like, they just have to like and trust you, which again, if you're on this call, I already know you're a hustler. So the likability is really inevitable. The second thing, as far as groups go, we're talking about groups here, is bigger pockets. So anybody put in the comments if you've heard of bigger pockets before? I think there's got to be at least a couple people. Okay, yeah, Nick's heard of bigger pockets. I think Maria raised her hand. Cool. Yep. Okay. Don't sleep on bigger pockets because the same thing as Facebook groups, there's people on bigger pockets who need co-hosting services. And just like I talked about before, like motivations, there's some people on bigger pockets that love real estate and love investing. They don't want any part of the management process. It's not like an uncommon thing. I'd say more often than not, people who want to invest don't want to also manage. I mean, I'm personally different. I like both, but most people are not like that way. So go to bigger pockets, send me a little friend request or whatever connection on bigger pockets. And then go to the search bar here and just type in co-host. Okay. So you can scroll down and this person seeking a co-host, again, looking for a co-host. Looking for a co-host. I could literally go on and on. This was April 28th, so a couple of weeks ago. There are people who need co-hosting services. Okay, and it's almost like I think one common limiting belief that I just want to call out is people are like, oh well, why would someone co-host with me? Why wouldn't they just go to a big company? Everyone's different, and everyone starts from someplace. Okay. So when I started, I had 0 properties. When Claire started, she had 0 properties. When everybody I know started, they had 0 properties. So everyone has to start somewhere. So don't have, try to fight that limiting belief that people need your service, and it's a need. Like, people literally need it. So again, you're valuable whether you have 0 properties or 100 properties. Everyone has their own preferences as well. So that is groups. The next strategy I want to talk about here is long-term rental landlords. So this is a very interesting strategy that can, again, I'm not a big fan of arbitrage, but some people are. This could also go hand in hand with the arbitrage strategy. But essentially, people who rent their properties as a long-term rental, they're looking for something. What are they looking for? It just depends on the person, but a lot of the time it's just passive income. It's just that steady flow of income. That's why they have the rental in the first place. But what a lot of people don't realize, especially more old school landlords, and honestly, even younger landlords, like, people just don't know, every nuance of every industry, and neither do I. I just know the Airbnb stuff well. But people who rent on a long-term basis, there's a reason why they're not doing a short-term rental. It could be a lot of things. It could be they have no idea where to start. It could be they don't have any interest in managing. They didn't know it was an option. So by contacting long-term rentals, this is an excellent way to, and again, it's a big numbers game, but trying to find landlords that need your service. So, you can pick a city. We'll pick, I don't know, we'll pick Austin. Never been to Austin, but has anyone here been to Austin? I've never been. Sounds like a cool place though. No, oh, let's see. Claire's been to Austin. Anyone else been to Austin? No, just Claire. Okay, here we go. Tally has as well. Okay, cool. So, pick a city. You can pick where you're from. There's a whole nother presentation on picking markets. But, oh, Monique lives in Austin. Okay, very cool. Very cool. So what you can do is pick a city, filter by, let's go by single family homes. I don't like apartments. I don't like condos, townhomes. There's too many restrictions with that for me personally. And the best part about Trulia.com, which is the website that I'm on, it's like a Zillow, is you can get the owner's contact information right away. So I just clicked on this random one. I'll scroll down and boom, their phone number. So again, you can call them and ask them if they're open to doing a short-term rental. Why would someone do that? Because they're going to earn, again, the same guaranteed money that they were wanting from a tenant in the first place, except you might pay them just a little bit more. And they might be happy with that. Okay. So again, phone numbers are all right here. So pretty cool option for that. Another option is social media. So I have a feeling a lot of you guys have seen Allie, the co-host experience on Instagram, on TikTok. She's absolutely crushing it. She's actually one of my students. Her first client that she landed was from social media. She's never met them before social media. And someone saw her social media, was like, I'd love to work with you. So let me just show you a quick example. If this pops up, this is just Allie's page. Give her a follow if you haven't already. Super cool. But she just posts a lot of co-hosting content and a lot of Airbnb content. So people know on social media, all 507 people know, like, listen, she does co-hosting. That's what she does. She has a whole website. She likes the digital route, and that's what I do as well. I gain most of my clients from social media. I'm not saying it's the only way to go. If you're not a social media person, you don't need to go that way. If you like social media, definitely tap into it because it's a huge opportunity. Okay, here's a really good gem that I haven't met a lot of people that know about this one. So, well, first is your classic meetup.com. So what the whole goal of it here is, again, for people to know you, How do people know you? You got to meet them. Where do you meet them? Where do you meet people that are interested in Airbnbs? at Airbnb meetups. So go to meetup.com, type in a category, Airbnb, and within how many miles of whatever city you're in. So again, we'll stick with the Austin theme here. Austin, Texas. And it'll search. Okay, and we already have a bunch of different events for Airbnb investors. If you are a realtor as well, I think I see a couple realtors on here. I'm also a licensed realtor as well. Something that's really cool about going to meetups is you not only have to just talk about co-hosting, you're now like a full service Airbnb or full service real estate specialist. You can help them buy, you can help them sell, you can co-host their property, you can find them a real estate agent in another state if they want to invest there. So again, look for meetups. Here we go. Monthly short-term rental roundtable. Okay, awesome. Okay, and then this one is one that's really cool. And Airbnb actually has their own feature for Airbnb hosts to connect with one another. So let me scroll down. You can type in your area or just zoom in. So let's go to, where's the United States? Here it is. So let me zoom in. And I actually have no idea. I know obviously it's in Texas, but okay, there we go, Austin. So we'll stick with the Austin theme for tonight. And we'll click there. Austin official Airbnb host group, join group. And these are actually different Facebook groups that are local to specific cities. So again, this is just a random one, but this Austin group has 508 members in it. Okay. I'll drop this in the chat for, I think it was Monique. If you're not part of this group, go ahead and join this group. Let me just type this to everybody. This is just, again, one minor example, but you want to surround yourself with the people that are doing it. And that's just one way to go about it. We'll also look, I don't know, they're everywhere. I'm in Wisconsin now, so let's see the one for Wisconsin. Cool. Milwaukee. Boom, 89 members. Okay. So I'm actually going to join this group right now. Sweet. So again, another great hack, just to show you guys the website, community.withairbnb.com. Let me throw that in the chat for you guys as well, just so it's super easy for everyone to find that. And I highly recommend everyone join a meetup group, a Facebook group, local to the city that you're in or that you want to invest in. You obviously don't have to co-host or invest locally, but at the very least, be part of a community that you're looking to be part of. So that's another one there. So the next one is referrals. Okay. This is the best source of them all. And a lot of people have a big misconception. They say, well, Bailey, I don't have any experience. Who's going to refer me? Well, I'm going to show you ways to get referrals without actually having experience, but also know that referrals, when you have experience, it makes it even easier. But again, totally possible to get referrals without experience. How do you get referrals without experience? Again, it goes down to people know, like, and trust you. Like any business ever, and if there's any business that doesn't follow this, please let me know. But in any business, it's a relationship business. If you have bad relationships with people, you're not going to do business with them. It's like that simple. If you really like somebody, you're going to do business with them, even if there might be a slightly, another alternative. I've done this plenty of times, working with people that I just know, like, and trust that are going to take care of me no matter what, even if, they might not have, and people took risks on me as well. As far as investing in properties, I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of capital. And it wasn't because I was the most experienced. It was because people knew me from social media and from content and reaching out and from referrals and connections, but they liked and trusted me once they got to know me. So when it came to different opportunities, they said, I like this guy. Same exact thing with co-hosting or any other business. It's a relationship business. Another thing is this is just an example to hit home of why you need to tell people what you're doing. So if I told you that my absolute favorite state to travel to is North Carolina, the next time you hear North Carolina, I guarantee you're going to think of me. Actually, I have a lot of favorite states, so it's actually not one. This is just an example. But same idea is if you tell people co-hosting, they're going to think of you. And you want people to associate the word co-hosting in Airbnb with you. Whenever they hear that word, they think of you and they connect the dots. This happens to me. The person I just met up with, he mentioned Airbnb, and my mutual friend said, you got to talk to Bailey. Again, so this is just a classic example of know, like, and trust. Tell your immediate network. That's like the biggest thing. And then the other thing with all these examples that I don't want to gloss over here, these are just 6 really effective strategies, but none of them are going to work overnight. Is it possible you reach out in a Facebook group and someone like says, yes, I'm ready to go right now? It's possible, but don't have that be your expectation. Okay. Because every strategy here and every strategy with anything comes down to a numbers game. It comes down to grit and comes down to hustle and consistency. So if you're thinking, oh, Bailey, I just want to like easily get leads and like, make a lot of money, but not really do anything at all, this is definitely not it for you. But if you're like, I understand it takes work, I need to put in the hustle, and you see the opportunity, then this is absolutely the right thing for you, because the hardest part of any business, co-hosting alike, is getting started. It's getting that first client. Once that happens, it starts to snowball fast, as you saw from just me in 9-10 months. Excuse me. But again, it takes consistency. So I don't want to gloss over that fact. So just a recap. We have co-hosting. That's really the main strategy we're talking about tonight. I do 2 strategies, owning and co-hosting. Co-hosting by far is the most scalable. It literally takes little money, as in just $200 for an LLC or $220. Besides that, there's no upfront expenses. It can be done from anywhere. Those are a couple benefits why I like it. Again, the 3 pillars. People have to know you, people have to like you, and people have to trust you. And just know, people cannot like and trust you if they don't know you. So your goal is to be known by the people who need your service. And again, we just spent 30 minutes talking about the different strategies you can use to get in front of people. And again, getting your first co-host client, and then you'll be able to scale fast. And again, the different marketing channels. Inner circle is so important. You have an inner circle, even if you're like, I don't really know it. You have an inner circle. That could be coworkers, family, friends, you name it. The different groups, Airbnb groups, Facebook groups, meetup groups, long-term rental landlords, and social media. So we are going to now move on to the next section. We're going to go into Q&A, but before we do, we have a quick announcement, super exciting, that Claire and I are running a short-term rental program to help people just like you and I, really where I was 10 months ago, get off the ground with short-term rentals and with co-hosting. So the whole goal and what this program actually is for people who want our help to get that first property or scale, or they, might have a couple properties and they want to get to that next level. So what you get in this program is everything you need to succeed. That's the reason we made this program, and we designed it as such. So we're going to give you lifetime access to everything. Everything I want to talk about is lifetime access. So we have a whole training vault that walks you step by step, in depth, to everything you need to know to start from A to Z, learning everything about the Airbnb process is in our training vault, all there for you, lifetime access. We have maybe 24 plus tools that we use, templates, calculators, checklists, you name it, we have a tool for it that I actually use in my business. So we're going to give you that again, lifetime access. We have weekly group calls every Tuesday. We have a group call. Claire and I do the calls. We switch off every Tuesday. I'm going to be there tomorrow night. So if you join the program tonight, you'll have access to that call with us tomorrow. Super exciting. Accountability pods. Again, we have it as an option for our students. We encourage it, but you can be put in an accountability pod to keep you accountable towards hitting your goals. Okay. A couple other things we're throwing in some bonuses that we wanted to throw in for you guys. So these are limited time bonuses, but here we go. Number one, a one-on-one onboarding call with myself. You and I are going to hop on a phone call, Zoom, face-to-face, and I'm going to set you an actionable game plan that you can use to get started. But when Claire and I were talking, it was like, yeah, that sounds great, but how do we know that people are going to follow through on the game plan? Because yeah, it's one thing to create a game plan, but it's another thing to actually make sure people are following it. And we designed this program for people to succeed. So in order to make sure that happens, we're going to have 6 accountability calls, one-on-one, every single month for the first 6 months. So essentially what's going to happen, we're going to get on that first call. We're going to set you an action plan, and then we're going to see you in a month. Well, we're going to talk to you a lot before then from our group calls, our Facebook group, all that fun jazz. But we're going to get on a one-on-one call and say, did you do the things we told you to do? And if you did, it's going to lead you on the path to success. Like that's what we're all about. And then if you did those couple things, we're going to say, all right, I'm going to see you one-on-one in a month. We're going to lay out a couple things for you to do. We're going to say, did you do these things? So accountability is huge, absolutely huge. We have our private Facebook group, again, connecting with other people in the program. We're going to give you guys a discount for those of you who join by May 12th. And we're also going to do 2 other really cool things. Number one, actually, we have 3 things. The next one's on the next slide. One of them is we're going to help you review your deals. So I know, I don't think Jeremy's on right now, but we have a student, Jeremy. He had a deal under contract, needed help to make sure that everything was good with it. We hopped on a call, no problem at all. We're here for our students, and we want to make sure that you guys are buying properties, managing properties that you guys are confident with. So we're here to hop on a call with you to give you 100% certainty that you're making the right decision. Another thing is we're here to connect you with all of the people in our network. So realtors, lenders, interior designers. I know we have a great interior designer here on the call. Tali's here. So again, the people that we use, that we know, like, and trust, we are going to connect you guys because we want you to use the best, and we only use the best. So that's that. Another thing that I've never seen anywhere else, because no one's as confident and as willing to actually get students results, is we have a program guarantee. Okay, so our guarantee is a 30-day happiness guarantee. So the reason why we have this is because we want you to obviously be happy. We want you to make sure it's a good fit. And if it's not, then we'll just give you a full refund within the 30 days. So you have basically 30 days to test drive everything. And when I say everything, I mean, we're going to have our one-on-one call. You're going to have access to our group calls, our Facebook group, our tools, if I didn't mention that already, our course. Like, you're going to get access to everything up front. Like, the second that you sign up, you get access. And we're so confident that you're going to like it, that if for whatever reason you don't like it, just let us know and we'll give you your money back. If you're like, this isn't what I thought, you can have your money back. We don't want your money if you're not going to, enjoy the program, and you're not going to want to stick with it. If you're like, coasting's not for me, cool. Well, not a problem. Of course, you got to do some things so that you actually know if it's right for you, like completing the course, attending the calls, and then joining and attending an accountability pod, to make sure that you are fully invested as well. Because we only take on people that are fully invested in themselves and their dream, their future. So we definitely want to make sure this is a right fit for you, but we want to give people the ease that, listen, I believe in this, and for some reason, if I join and it's terrible, then you just get your money back. So that's why we designed it. We're so confident that we over deliver by a big margin that we're very confident with it. So again, purpose of the program, we're going to come back to this in a quick second. Claire dropped a link in the chat. If you haven't already booked a call with myself, again, I want to talk to you one-on-one. I want to understand your goals, understand if this is even going to be a good fit for you. Schedule a call down below. If you schedule a time before Friday, you'll be eligible for that discount and the bonuses as well. So make sure you click the link below in the chat. Claire posted it, and schedule a call with me just to see if it's a good fit for you. Again, purpose of the program. Claire and I are here to literally handhold you through the process. Okay. The whole point of Airbnb, real estate, investing, is that you can spend more time with your family. So you don't have to work a million hours a week. So you can travel. So you can do whatever you want. Everyone's different. Different things make different people happy. But yeah, it's just about finding your happiness and finding a method to get there. Okay. So like a tool. So my tool right now is through real estate. My real estate and my real estate business and co-hosting and investing is on this path to fueling my life. And then I can spend my time doing whatever I want, which, yeah, it's traveling, hanging out with friends. I'm traveling a bit this weekend. So again, just flexibility is ultimately what we're searching for. And we're here to handhold you to make sure that you get there. So here, I just want to share a couple of testimonials from past students, clients of ours that we have helped in the short-term rental space. Some of these things we've helped people with massive, massive problems that have made them a lot of money. Like Allie, for example, she is one of our students, like I mentioned. She's the one on social media. I dropped her Instagram down below. And Allie in particular, she joined the program, and what we helped her with, a lot of things, but one thing that was huge that I want to call out real quick is she had a client, and the way she actually found this client, I gave a lead to her. What I do for all my students is when a lead comes into me, like someone says, "Hey Bailey, can you co-host my property?" If I'm not interested in it, and for whatever reason, if it's not in my region that I'm focusing on, I'll pass it on to a student. So Allie, I passed the lead on to Allie, and Allie was like, "I'm going to charge a $500 setup fee." Okay. And you can see here in the comments, we said, "Allie, no. You're doing so much more work for this client. You need to be charging at least $3,300 because you're doing a lot." And she didn't really see the value up front because she was new to it. She wasn't sure if she was worth it, all that fun stuff. We said, "No, Allie, we're not letting you do anything below $3,300. She asked for $3,300 and they said yes. So just that alone, like that, just having that conversation, it was actually, I got to give a shout out to Claire because Claire's good at that. And the conversation was with her, is Allie made an extra $2,800 just from a conversation, which is like mind blowing, but that is what it is. Mackenzie down here, another person, again, rockstar Claire helped set up their first property. Again, with a couple tweaks and a couple on the smaller side things, she helped them get $46,000 in bookings before their listing even was ready to go. This is a strategy that I use for my properties. It's a strategy we teach. So again, by just having that relationship and we were able to help them with that. This is a student, Jeremy. He got a property under contract in Albuquerque, and he needed a lot of help with once he got under contract, a lot of crazy things happened with the deal, financing contingencies, interest rates, things didn't go according to plan. Hopped on a call with Jeremy for an hour and a half or so, and his girlfriend Meg, and we got the issue solved. And that was that. Now he under contract and is going to be closing on this property. And then another student of mine, again, these are like, they sound like small tweaks, but when you have like 100 small tweaks, trust me, it makes a huge difference. So what she needed help with was pricing, and she wasn't getting any bookings. And I gave her a couple pricing strategies. So number one, she got a booking. She DM'd me and said, "Bailey, I followed your suggestion and finally got a booking." So that was obviously super exciting. And then another thing with her is she didn't have her price labs, the software, dynamic pricing software, set up correctly. So in just 5 minutes of talking with her, I literally saved her $300 basically per year per property that she had. So again, I'm mentioning like they sound maybe small things. When you add up, $300 per year here, then you have $2,800 for one-time thing here. Then you have 46, it adds up. And honestly, these are really, really big things. So again, I know a lot of you guys have already signed up for calls with me. If you haven't already, be sure you do so. Claire left the link in the chat box, so you guys can absolutely go ahead and do that. Airbnb and what Claire and I designed with this program, with all the tools, the course, the whole 9 yards, is we wanted to just take our business, put it in a box, and let people replicate it. It's like that simple. So as far as like, when I'm talking like replicate, I mean, I give you the exact message scripts I use, and you can literally copy it and paste it. And I show you exactly where to copy and paste it. Like this is like, when I say business in a box, I mean, this is like as done for you as far as like the systems and the management as possible without us actually doing it. So we give you everything you need. We show you how to do everything. And then we're there for you to support you. Like tomorrow night, I'm hopping on a call with one of my students. He's on this call right now. We're going to talk and make sure that his things are set up perfectly, because we want our students to succeed. And that's the most important thing to us, honestly. So if you are ready to join us on the path to financial freedom through the co-hosting or Airbnb route in general, this is honestly a once in a lifetime opportunity. We don't take everybody in this program. We don't just take 1 million people. We keep it small on purpose because we want to help you. So if you're looking for help to get to the next level, wherever you are with co-hosting or Airbnb, if you have 0 properties, you have 1 property, 5 properties, we can help you with systems, with processes, with tweaks to your system, with tweaks to your pricing. And ultimately, again, the goal of business, at least for me and for real estate, isn't just to make $1 bajillion so I can continue to work as hard as I can until I'm 100 years old. I want to build a business that can run itself and grow by itself. Airbnb and co-hosting is honestly one of those businesses that is just, it has those characteristics, like it's scalable, it doesn't take any money. That makes it, I'm not going to say easy, because nothing's easy. It takes hard work, especially in the beginning. But as far as like comparing apples to apples, this versus like a different strategy like arbitrage, which I saw a comment on that, so I'll talk about it. Like Airbnb and co-hosting is an unbelievable route, and Claire and I want to help you achieve your goals with it. So I'm going to be available later tonight and the rest of the week to hop on calls. I know, again, a couple of you guys have already booked calls, so I'll talk to you guys soon. For those of you who haven't booked calls, again, Claire dropped the link in the chat. Just click it, sign up for a call. We'll chat to make sure it's a good fit for you. So now let's jump into Q&A. So any questions you have about co-hosting, Airbnbs, anything that I mentioned tonight, fire the questions at me. I'm here to answer them live. Okay, so Tali, I'll start with you. You asked about why I'm not a fan of arbitrage. Claire pretty much hit it. First month's rent, security deposit, furnishing the units. And then also it's just a lot of risk where you don't get the reward of ownership. You get honestly the same risk as ownership, very similar, but you don't have any of the upside reward, equity, the tax the tax benefits, appreciation, depreciation, all that fun stuff. You don't have an arbitrage. So for me, I'm like, it's just more risk than needed. And if you're somebody, and this goes to anybody, if you're tight on money, then co-hosting is a much better route, in my opinion, with a lot less risk. What kind of agreements in writing do you need with the owner prior to co-hosting a listing for them? Great question, Ben. We have a co-hosting contract. So that seals the deal. We have a co-hosting contract. Is the co-hosting contract easily usable state to state? So again, I'm not an attorney, so I can't talk on legality per se. I can tell you what I do in my business, and that is yes, I use that contract in every single state that I co-host in. So for me, I would say yes, it's very easy to use that in every state. or the states at least I'm in, because I do it. So yes, I can just talk from personal experience, not from a law standpoint. Okay, when calling landlords, how do you sell them on co-hosting? So as far as selling landlords on co-hosting, this is with a lot of things, but you have to figure out what their pain and motivation is. If there's somebody who doesn't care about making a lot of money or any extra money, co-hosting is an absolute no. If there's someone who is opportunistic and interested in making more money, boom, they already have that mindset and it's easier to sell them on it. Okay. That's, number one is not every landlord is going to be open to it. It's going to be a numbers game. Absolutely. So it's just figuring out what their motivations are in the first place and simply asking them, hey, have you thought about putting this property on Airbnb? You're going to have people who say, I hate Airbnb. I hate Airbnb. You're going to have some people that say, I thought about it. I just don't have the time to manage it. You're going to get those answers if you talk to enough people. So again, it's a numbers game. Do you think it is worth the effort and time to send direct mailers to find owners to co-host for? This is a very interesting question, Ben. I have a lot of experience with off-market lead generation strategies for owning properties. So cold calling and texting are kind of my bread and butter. I've personally never done mailers. I think they're awesome. Strategy I haven't done. As far as mailers for co-hosting, it's going to be a little bit tough. Unless you get a super niche list. So for example, if you're going to only target vacant homes who might be interested in all the homes vacant, then yeah, I could see it being a very interesting experiment to say the least. And I can definitely see it working. Even to landlords, maybe, you find landlords and you send a list to them. I don't know. I've never done the result myself. So I can't give you any experience from personal experience with the mailers. I know it works for investing. Very interesting strategy for the co-hosting. I've never tried it myself. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Questions, throw them in the chat, the Q&A. I make it a rule that I don't leave until all questions are answered. So please ask your questions down below. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you joining in. Cool. Anybody else have any other questions? If I have to be here for 2 more hours answering questions, I will. So please just fire them at me if you have any. If not, we can close this out. And again, Claire has that link in the chat. So if you haven't already signed up for a call, be sure you do so, just so we can see if the program is going to be a good fit for you, and see how we can help you. Okay. Tally, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining in. Let's see, I think we got another question. For tools used for automating, do you charge the host or just cover cost yourself? Heather, great question. When I say that this business takes no money, besides an LLC, I truly mean it. So we charge our owners a $50 per month technology fee. This covers all the technology we use and then some. So we actually make a little bit of money, like not a lot on the co-hosting, on the technology fee, but so $50 is what we charge. So that includes our channel manager. That's about $15 per property, depending on how many properties you have. We have Price Labs, again, $15-ish, depending on how many properties you have. That's $30. We use Hostfully guidebooks. That could be another $10, depending on how many properties you have. So that's $40. And that's pretty much all we cover. So $40, you charge 50, you keep 10. That's an extra $120 per year per property, just for charging a little fee. All right. Well, if I don't see any other questions, we're going to close this out. Obviously, you guys know where to find me, social media, Facebook group, you know where to find me. So if you have questions throughout, I'm here to help. So thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all later. Peace.